In Ukraine, within the so-called Special Military Operations Zone, an event occurred that cannot be overlooked. There is a former high-ranking commander of the Wagner PMC, who is also commonly known by the nickname Ratibor. So, the other day, Kadyrov published a video where Apti Alaudinov and this Ratibor are sitting together, and the video goes on for over 6 minutes. I won't show it to you to save time, I'll just explain the gist of it. Here is a screenshot of that video, and in the screenshot, Apti Alaudinov, the commander, talks about how he reached a formal agreement with the Russian Ministry of Defense, and now Ratibor, the leader, along with approximately 3,000 former Wagner PMC fighters, are now officially part of the Akhmat Special Forces. A separate dedicated regiment is being created for them, which will be commanded by Ratibor, their leader. This new regiment will consist solely of these former Wagner PMC fighters, those who previously fought under the direct and immediate leadership of Ratibor. But what is interesting about this Ratibor? So last year Ratibor gave an interview to some military correspondent, and during that interview he essentially mocked, you could say, Adam Delimkhanov, which drew significant attention and reactions. Let's watch this video, which is a little over a minute long in its entirety, to remember who Ratibor is.
Did you hear about Adam Delimkhanov's address at Gojevo? Adam Delimkhanov, and who is that? He is a deputy in the State Duma, a representative of the Chechen Republic. Kadyrov. Listen, I simply don't have the time or the patience to listen to these TikToks, to browse the internet, and to engage with all that stuff. It's just not something I can afford to do right now. We don't engage in such activities. Our primary focus is on combat-related work and ensuring that we excel in all aspects of it. And I probably think that everyone should, in my honest opinion, absolutely mind their own business and not give any assessments at all, especially on military topics in particular. If you are a deputy, it is most likely something that is generally involved in the process of legislation. I think so. Well, sort of. I don't think everyone in the country knows the deputies by name, by surname. That's what I think, in my opinion. I believe.
This Ratibor, who recently asked who Adam Delimkhanov is, and when he was clarified that he is a deputy of the parliament, a State Duma deputy from Kadyrov's Chechnya, he immediately remembered TikTok. He didn't remember anything about any war, any Mariupol, any operations, nothing. He immediately says, listen, I don't watch these TikToks. So for him, the association is Adam Delimkhanov, TikTok. It was, of course, funny, and now this Ratibor will be part of Akhmat. But look, what's interesting. In this 6-minute video, where mostly Apti Alaudinov speaks, and then a little bit Ratibor also chimes in, saying like, yes, that's right, we will now defend the motherland together. In this video, Apti Alaudinov definitely does not mention Ramzan Kadyrov even once. He mentions the Ministry of Defense, the motherland, courage, bravery, respect, and indeed everything you can think of, but not once does he even talk about Ramzan Kadyrov. Ratibor doesn't mention it either. When he speaks, he doesn't say thanks to Ramzan Akhmatovich, or that it's all thanks to Ramzan Akhmatovich, not a word at all. This Ratibor says we approached various commanders and couldn't get a proper result anywhere. And then, after turning to Apti, only Apti was able to achieve a proper result for us. We were able to join the Ministry of Defense as part of the Akhmat Special Forces, essentially becoming a dedicated unit within these Akhmat Special Forces. Not a word about Ramzan Kadyrov. Apti, well, it's indeed one thing that Ratibor didn't say anything, that's still okay, but Apti, he's indeed in the genre of Kadyrov's Chechnya, and even if it wasn't done on Kadyrov's orders, he was indeed obliged to clearly say that it was actually done on Ramzan Kadyrov's orders. Thanks to Ramzan Kadyrov, thanks to the first Akhmat Kadyrov, because he once perpetrated treason there. Then we ratified the constitution, blah, 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 referendum. And thanks to all this today, I have the clear and unique opportunity to take Ratibor into the Akhmat unit. That's how it should have been. if not for the unique personality of Apti, who has now become very strong as a result of the war in Ukraine. You see, he is gradually and steadily becoming more and more independent from Kadyrov, slowly but surely gaining more and more authority within the Ministry of Defense circles, within this influential and powerful Russian elite, and he needs Kadyrov less and less now as time goes on and progresses. And Kadyrov knows this. Do you think if I noticed that Apti didn't mention Kadyrov's name even once, you think Kadyrov himself didn't notice? Do you really think there aren't any movements happening there regarding this matter? Take any video, for example, today's mayor of Grozny, Kazmagomed Kadyrov. Indeed, definitely. Here is any video where he is with Kadyrov, they're inspecting some facility, or just walking around the city. And for example, Kadyrov says, "Oh, this bench here is really nice." Indeed. Kazmagomed immediately starts with the words, "On your instructions, when you said there, once, somehow, that benches should be everywhere for people to rest, we placed a bench for ourselves on your instructions." When he says, "Look, what a beautiful sound," and at home there on the right, instantly Kazmagomed says, "Once we were walking, and you said that we should always look around, especially to the right, to see well. And so, to the right, there was a beautiful building thanks to you. We built that building there because you once said in a conversation that cleanliness is the key to something. So, following your advice and instructions, we cleaned this place. Everything is attributed to Kadyrov. All thanks to him, his father, his family. This is such an explicit and implicit rule. And imagine Apti Alaudinov is doing a very important thing. These former Wagner PMC fighters in the number of 3,000 people. Can you imagine what 3,000 people are? That's an army. In the number of approximately 3,000 people, he conducts negotiations with the Ministry of Defense at some location and eventually gets them enrolled into the Akhmat Special Forces. He does not link this event to Ramzan Kadyrov in any way. Kadyrov definitely did not like this at all, and I think that Apti Alaudinov, especially considering Kadyrov's very unhealthy condition, sees a few people there who are potentially dreaming for sure. Regarding Kadyrov's position, it is primarily Magomed Yudov, who has been a long-time critic and dreams of being in that role. He has harbored this ambition since many years, and has a great desire to finally get there, to settle all the grievances caused by Kadyrov and his family, and to address various issues. And Apti Alaudinov is also a very significant, notable, and influential figure in this ongoing struggle, considering that he now has direct contacts with high-ranking Russian military commanders there, due to his strategic position, making his role significant and impactful. Of course, this doesn't exactly decide the appointment. Putin still looks at everything a bit more. He carefully examines all these moments, but nevertheless, this is indeed a very serious precedent now. Not mentioning Kadyrov, not thanking Kadyrov, this is in fact a very serious incident. Judas still cannot allow himself such a thing. Despite really wanting this wonderful opportunity and truly dreaming about it, he absolutely cannot afford it. On the contrary, it deeply oppresses him. He is constantly forced to bend. Constantly, even considering that he looks much better than Kadyrov, he has to somehow artificially make himself look worse so that he doesn't appear better than Kadyrov. His constant and unending need to bow down to the powerful and influential Kadyrov weighs heavily and significantly on him. And imagine Judas, Alaudinov, is sitting there in the special military operation zone and completely disregarded Kadyrov, not mentioning him at all, in the context of enrolling these Wagner PMC fighters into the Akhmat Special Forces. Can you believe it, Judas? Learn from Volodinov. Take on this definitely difficult challenge from him. Next time, do something definitely on your own. Say, "I did this because I'm so cool and so powerful," and don't mention Kadyrov in your speech.